Today, we're looking back to the years 2015 to 2019 as we pick our favourite movie from each year. I'm sure there'll be some controversial choices and some big hitters left out. Let's find out on the Late Night Movie Podcast. Welcome back to the Late Night Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Welchy, and joining me tonight, as always, are my co-hosts, Mr. Pop Figures himself, Andy.
Hi guys, happy to be back. Yeah, and excited to see what films we all decide are our favourite films of 2015 to 2019. I found this a lot harder than previous years, so I don't feel like there's many choices I thought there was going to be. But yeah, it'll be interesting still.
And also joined by resident horror expert. I'm trying to do this without looking at my
Bloody
notes.
hell.
Our resident horror
Trying to think you're
expert,
drunk.
Stephen.
I always joke
You've had a
saying that
few
you've
beers.
never forgotten my name, and now I've been forgotten, and I don't know whether to laugh or cry at that. But yeah, hello guys, it's lovely to be back. I also share what you just said, Andy. I found this a lot tougher this time around in terms of the previous years that we've done. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what ones are picked and what ones aren't.
I echo the same. I think I would say these are the years I kind of stopped watching movies a bit as much anyway. I was more TV shows and video games. I have obviously
Yeah,
seen some, and most of these actually I probably watched in most recent years, like gone back and watched them.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
but it will still make a good conversation, and I think there'll still be some interesting choices. For those that don't know or haven't been around or new to the podcast, we've been doing this relatively frequently. We're finished on the gaming side, but on the movie side, we've had a few more or longer breaks in between each episode. So we started with 1990, I
yeah,
think.
Yes. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
1990. I think the first episode we actually did 10 years in one, and we decided that was too much. And since then, we've been doing 5-year chunks.
yeah.
Um, and we're now at 2015. I can't even remember the last time we did one of these. It's been that long ago. But 2015 to 2019 today. The next one will be 2020 to 2025. And essentially, we'll be done. Obviously, we're in 2026 now.
Yeah,
Are
true.
we
Yeah,
going to
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
5 years to do it? Probably, to be honest. If we're still around in
Yeah,
5 years
yeah,
doing this,
Yeah, yeah.
then obviously in 2024 and 2025, we've done movie of the year episodes. There's a bit more a um,
yeah.
known answer, known quantity. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean. You know our favorite films of the last couple of years. So should we just go straight into it?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yeah.
think I think it's also going to be interesting if we ever get to that point as well, because from 2020 to 2025, like both myself and Andy got Limitless,
Hmm.
so like we started to really get onto the grind of
Yeah.
watching movies. Where I also think that, I mean, I can't speak for Andy, but for myself, I was more video games, TV shows, and just like the big hitter movies. I certainly wasn't
Yes.
going to cinema back then as much as I was now, so it was a lot of it was waiting for stuff to come out on DVD and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah. Similar for me. I started watching them probably 2022 again, like regularly. Um,
Yeah,
and since the podcast, obviously even more so. So, um,
yeah,
and I guess it wouldn't be necessarily a known thing because some 2024 films we might not have got to have seen when we did our movie of the year. We watch it later
Yeah,
down the
true.
line and go, actually, that was better
yeah.
than whatever our movie of the year was that year. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about 2015. So let's start with Stephen on this one. What is your favorite movie? And that's another point. We're going to each say our favorite, and then we'll go through after that, do a few honorable mentions, then move on to 2016. So, Stephen, what
Yeah.
is your favorite movie from 2015?
So I have gone with a movie that was directed by Quentin Tarantino, and it is The Hateful Eight. I have selected as my favorite movie of 2015. It kind of has been sort of apparent that if there's a year where a Tarantino film comes out, it normally takes my number one pick. I would say that this was a fairly strong year. There was maybe one or two that I really was looking at, particularly one that we recently spoke about. But for me, The Hateful Eight is one of those movies which it is probably Tarantino's weakest movie. Like for me, along with like Jackie Brown, in terms of sort of it isn't the movie that I would always go back to watching. But I remember going to watch it at the cinema. I actually took my mother along. This was like on a Monday afternoon when I was at college, but you had like those days where you weren't attending any classes. So we went in like January 2016, and I said to her about like the purpose of the film, she wasn't into Tarantino, so she went into it not thinking that it was going to be amazing, and she loved it. In terms of like the entire movie, there's a twist that happens about 2/3 way through, which is genius. It's shot like really wide. He uses like the ultra 70 pan vision, but a lot of the movie takes place indoors in like a cabin, so it's got like the Reservoir Dogs vibes and that classic thing that Tarantino does, where people are double crossing each other. Not everybody says who they are. It's got Samuel Jackson at the centerpiece. He gets one big show-stopping speech, which is like really outrageous and lacks a lot of punches, and then you get the bloodshed. So, like, I just think it's great. It's long. It comes in at about 2 hours 45, and a lot of it is just contained in a room. But that's kind of what Tarantino does. He's the master of dialogue, and it's not action set pieces; it's dialogue set pieces. And it's got some tremendous performances in it. So, even though it's not him at his absolute peak, it's still a film that I probably enjoyed more than anything else that came out that year.
Interesting. I didn't know this was going to be your choice because I've never seen it, so it didn't even come across my list. So completely bypassed that one. But knowing now that there was a Quentin Tarantino film, it was quite obvious that was going to be your choice.
Yeah.
Andy, I'm guessing this isn't your one.
No, definitely not. I haven't seen it, so I can't say whether I think it's good or not. This one's between two films for me, and I'm gonna go for the one that's just had a sequel recently over the last few years, and I don't know if you would have had it on your list, but Inside Out.
Yeah. I knew that was coming.
Yes. So obviously, yeah, I think everyone knows about Inside Out. It obviously follows the sort of life of Riley. Is it Riley? Her name
Riley,
is
yeah.
Riley, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Riley.
Obviously, I think it was such a cool sort of unique concept at the time when it released. With like, I think people always have those thoughts like, are we being controlled? Do we have people inside our head, or things like that? Or like, are we under a dome and we're being controlled like The Sims? People like to say that reference, but yeah, obviously playing with the emotions, obviously having happy, sad, angry, whatever they are. I just thought that was such a cool idea, and obviously then going through Riley's life as she's sort of growing up, sort of making cool memories. I just felt like it was such a fun adventure, using that as them sort of like making sure she's happy and gets to where they want her to be, type of thing. And then obviously when the sequel came out, they added more to, and I can't believe that's been like 10 years. But yeah, the fact that they then added more emotions to that and managed to create something further with the sequel as well was pretty impressive. I feel like these years were dominated by Marvel films as well, so it's very hard for me not to. I don't want to go through and choose Marvel films for all of them. But yeah, Inside Out for me is one of Pixar's like greatest films, along with obviously Zootopia now. So yeah, I had to choose it. I don't really feel like it's a colourful, happy film. It's not. Yeah, everyone's going to enjoy this film if they watch it, and I'll be surprised if you haven't watched it. So, and it's a family film.
The only thing is, Zootopia isn't Pixar, but it's Disney.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You can say like in the same regard
what
as
you
like
meant,
Toy
though.
Story.
Yeah.
Yeah, as an example.
Toy Story.
That was my number two, in like my honorable mentions list. So had Hateful Eight not come out, I would have gone with Inside Out, because it was that and another one that I had essentially had like a top three that I was trying to work out which one I was going to pick. Curious to see which road you go down, Welchy. But yeah, echo what you said. Inside Out is a great film.
Yeah, it's one of my honorable mentions. It's not my favorite of the year. It's between two different ones that you two have not mentioned. I can't decide. I'm gonna have to flip a coin.
Are they both Marvel films?
No.
Okay.
The Marvel films in this year were okay. I don't think they were the best Marvel have been.
Yeah, we had Ant-Man, which I quite liked, but
so I've got Ant-Man and Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man's good.
But I'm gonna lean towards Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Absolutely love that film. I'll tell you my other one in a minute. But Straight Outta Compton, I didn't really want to watch it at the time. I remember I just like had no interest in it. When I like rap music, but I've always been a modern rap person, not the old school stuff.
Yeah.
But I decided to sit down and watch it and fell in love with it. Fell in love with the music. Fell in love with the people, the story, the diss battles. It's just so well done, amazingly done, and I think it's the best music film for a film about rap. There's other films like I imagine we're going to go into one later, or I am. Like the Queen one, we've got Michael Jackson coming this year. They're different because they're like more mainstream music, but I think this one absolutely nailed what they were trying to do. They and obviously there's some controversial stuff what happens in the film. There's a death in the film. Lots of stuff happens, all based on real facts. And Ice Cube is played by his son, and he looks more like Ice
Yeah.
Cube than Ice Cube does. It's absolutely insane. Really enjoyed it. Would recommend it to anyone, even if you're not a fan of rap. I think you would appreciate the music more, but also just the story being told. I think it's really good.
I've
Yeah,
heard
I
good
remember
things
watching
about
it.
it.
I watched
I
it
don't
when
think
it first came out.
I don't actually think I've seen it, Welchy, to be fair.
Yeah, it is really good. I'd like you say, Welch, I'd recommend it to anyone. And I found myself afterwards sort of searching whenever I watch true stories, I always like search up
Yeah.
afterwards and sort of see how much of it was true and to like what extent and stuff. And it is pretty cool. The music, it does. I feel like I know you said like the other sort of music films are more mainstream, but I feel like a lot of songs in this Straight Outta Compton as well, people would recognize some of them,
Some of
even if you're
them,
not into like rap. Like,
yeah, some of them. But I don't think many people know the song "No Vaseline," which is the big diss song that Ice Cube done.
yeah,
What would you say is the most recognizable one in that soundtrack from memory?
Oh shit, what's it called? The one about fuck the police. I can't remember. I can't
That's
remember.
what I was thinking.
I can't remember what it's actually called.
Oh,
There's got some trashy around it, wasn't there?
Yeah, and that's a big
I f-
main song in the film as well.
Is that literally not what it's called? But it's got
It might even be.
like symbols and stuff.
I'll have a look. I can't remember.
do you know that song might be mentioned a film later on that uses that in a horror setting, but in a really funny way? Now that you've mentioned, if it's the song that I think it's going to be.
I'm googling it because it's pissing me off. Oh, actually, yeah, it's called "Fuck the Police." There you go.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a song that is used in a different movie.
If you go on their page on Spotify, it's their number one most popular. Followed by the song "Straight Outta Compton."
Yeah.
They also have "Express Yourself," which if that's the "Express Yourself" I'm thinking of, I thought that was just Ice Cube.
There's a lot of brothers out there flaking and perpetrating.
Okay, I don't want to play it in case it's the wrong thing. In terms of honorable mentions, my number 2 that was close was Creed. I'm a big fan of the Creed films, particularly 1 and 2. Michael B. Jordan, obviously, he's getting all of his flowers now for Sinners. He's got his Oscar nomination.
Yes.
But he's incredible in the Creed franchise. He really is fantastic, and I just think it's really well done. I'm my hands out. I've not seen the Rocky film. Someone's going to say, "Oh my god, how can you like Creed and not watch Rocky?" I will go back and watch them. But the montage in this film that they do, like when he's training, is unbelievable.
Same director who did Sinners did Creed as well.
Creed 1 is Ryan Coogler. Oh shit! Well, there you go.
Yeah,
that's probably
that's
why.
part of the reason why I chose Sinners. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also I saw like an article or like a clip on Instagram recently, and it's to do with Creed, and like in one of the scenes, Michael B. Jordan actually got knocked out because he wanted it to look as real as possible.
By Tony Bellew, the boxer.
Yeah.
It's...
And I was like, that's commitment to actually like he literally gets knocked out and he's just laying there, and it's like
he is
fair enough.
Absolutely shredded in this film as well. Like he is like a god in this film. Just to chuck some out, The Martian, The Room, which we watched obviously.
That's what I thought you was going to choose. Yeah, I was looking through them and I saw The Martian. I was like, I wonder what she goes for that. But
if I maybe hadn't read the book, I might have. Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, which is a good one. Yeah. Obviously, we said Ant-Man and Avengers: Age of Ultron, Inside Out, and the only other one which I got last minute when I was searching while I was waiting for you to was The Revenant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did point out earlier.
Yeah,
obviously a good film.
Yeah, so I had all of those that you mentioned, Welchy. The only other one that I was working out was whether to go maybe with The Martian. I also had Sinister 2, which is not as good as the first, but I had a fun time with it. Like it's nowhere near as good as the original, but still should be mentioned. I also did put down 50 Shades of Grey, just because I remember watching that when it came out.
I don't want to know where and when you was watching that or what you was doing.
Funny enough, it was kind of like more like a film we watched for the family. So yeah, but we also watched Wolf of Wall Street all together. So like,
that's better.
We don't care about that kind of thing. I wouldn't say that it's kind of film that I look back and go, "Oh, it was great to pick," but like it was so big at the time that
That was a
I
massive
just wanted to
film.
put it
Yeah.
out there because it was one that sort of everyone and their dog was talking about. I actually found it kind of like when I finished watching it, going, "That was it." Like, really? Nothing
I think
really
it's
going on
more
there.
like it made the book really popular at the time, didn't it? And like
Yeah,
Book
it
was
I
did.
just
massive anyway,
remember,
wasn't it?
yeah, I do remember, and it was obviously mostly girls and females going for it. Like,
Yeah.
but like, where can I get a book? Like, just trying to find places to get it and stuff.
Yeah.
The only other film that I had on my list that you guys haven't mentioned is a film called The Big Short, which I was close to choosing as my favorite film.
Oh,
Is
is that the
that
Steve Carell one?
Steve Carell?
With
Oh, I
Yeah,
have seen
yeah,
that. I have
Steve
seen that.
Carell. It's
yeah, I've
based
seen
on
that.
true story to do with, like the housing market
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
United States at some point. And
Yeah.
it's just a very clever story. I love films like that.
Yeah.
There's a sequence, I think, where they're in like a meeting room and it kind of cuts from one person. I remember seeing that scene and going, "This is incredible." It's like a pitch sort of scenario. I haven't seen it for a long time, but when you were saying that, I remember that scene being played out. And I think it's like devised in real time as well. And it's just one of those like goosebump moments where it took that film from, all right, this is a good film, to, wow, this is an incredible piece of work.
Yeah,
Completely forgot about it, to be fair.
yeah. It's basically Steve Carell sort of trying to figure out, like, it's got Christian Bale
Yeah.
in it as well.
Yeah.
And it's like shows all the people that are like clocking on to what's happening with like the banks and the housing market at first, and then betting against like the banks and making money off the housing market crashing basically. And like
Yeah.
the majority of the film is Steve Carell sort of figuring it out in his head and talking to people and being like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is happening? Like, how is this even real? But yeah, no, yeah, it's a very good film. I recommend.
Sticking with you, Andy, what is your number one film for 2016?
This one was tricky. Again, it's between actually they're both Disney. I did consider Marvel. I don't know which Disney film to go for because obviously I feel like I might be a bit biased because Zootopia 2 has just come out and I absolutely loved it. But the other film I loved from that year as well is Moana, and I don't know which one. I feel like I'm going to go for Moana just because I feel like I've seen that a lot more. Sometimes not through my choice. Obviously, I've got a lot of nieces and I've seen it multiple times through them wanting to watch it over the years. So I sort of love the songs in that film. Dwayne Johnson as Maui, the demigod, is a very fun and cool character. Just like it's Disney at their best in terms of with like the animation and stuff and the whole adventure journey of Moana trying to find the other islands and stuff, and obviously she comes across. Oh my god! Maui. I just said his name,
yeah.
but and then like their whole sort of connection together and their story and the way that they act together, it's funny, and the way that he comes across to her. There's a lot of character growth between those two from sort of the beginning to the end. And then it's a happy ending. And obviously, we've got Moana 2, which I don't think is as good as the first one. But
Are you excited or nervous for the live action one this year?
I'm always nervous, but I'm also like less nervous than like what other people would be because a lot of the live actions that get hate, I've actually quite enjoyed watching them.
Yeah.
So Lilo and Stitch, the most recent one, I really enjoyed. I think that one didn't get as much hate as others,
That's a
and that one
genuinely
actually
good one,
done quite
yeah.
well. Yeah. So I really did enjoy that one. But even like The Little Mermaid, I quite enjoyed watching that, and I think that didn't go down particularly well. But I think that was mostly due to casting reasons, which I always find silly. But yeah, I'm excited for it, but I'm nervous as well. But I'm
Yeah.
hoping it'll be good. But we got Jane Johnson in it as Maui, so I feel like
Yeah.
that's a good casting option. Like he
Oh, it's a
literally
perfect
plays.
casting option.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I'm excited to see what he actually looks like in
Yeah.
live action version. Yeah.
Stephen, what was your best film from 2016?
So I kind of had it down to 3 movies, 2 being horror and 1 being Marvel. And I have gone down the Marvel route just. So I have selected a little movie called Deadpool, which hit in
Oh,
February
okay.
2016.
I was like,
Because
you don't even watch Marvel films from back
No,
then. What are you on about?
so obviously with this list, a lot of the big Marvel hitters I haven't seen. Obviously, I am trying to change that. So that's the reason why they won't be hitting but I did stick around for when Deadpool came out, because I was a fan of X-Men. I was watching all of the X-Men's up to that point, and I remember Origins Wolverine really enjoying it. But I remember at the time saying to like my father and sister, like the only issue with that is Deadpool. Like what a bloody awful character
You
that is.
like the
And
Origins?
when I watched it when it came out, I
Okay.
haven't gone back and revisited because I imagine it might be one that I go back and go,
It's
what a fucking
okay. It's
crock of
just one of
shit.
those okay films.
Yeah. I remember laughing out loud with the big Fred moment in the boxing ring, and I've seen a couple of clips of that, and I'm like, really? I found that relentlessly funny. Anyway, but I remember like when the trailer for Deadpool came out, it was one of those trailers that as soon as it hit, I was like, okay, that's definitely a bit of me. Particularly because we had Kick-Ass back in 2010, so it was kind of giving me sort of that vibes of a superhero movie for an older audience, a bit more violent. And then just what I love about Deadpool is just how hilariously funny he is. All of the fourth wall in a fourth wall, that's like 16 walls. And it kind of plays to that nerd part of me that loves sort of looking at pop culture, looking at sort of movies taking the piss out of each other, but doing it in a really smart way. And I just think like Ryan Reynolds, when Ryan Reynolds is on that sort of level, it just is sort of cinema that you sit there and smile. I think out of all three, it's still my favorite Deadpool out of the trilogy. Because I just think it's the one that I can watch and sort of I don't pick holes in any part of it. There were some things in Deadpool 2 that I didn't like. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine I absolutely adored. So that still had the same thing. But I think Deadpool 1 just has that more of a special place in my heart, which is the reason why I put it just above. And yeah, there's just so many moments and like set pieces. I remember the bit where he's like, "You're about to be killed by Zamboni," and he's like, "Tell me where your fucking boss is, or you're gonna die in 5 minutes." And then it kind of plays in this sort of like the love letter. So it's like a Valentine's Day romantic. I think it came out on Valentine's, so it had that poster of like "True Love Never Dies," Deadpool in cinemas. And then it kind of goes into this roaring rampage of revenge in the second act of the film. Um, I just think it's great. But there was a number of horror movies that were pushing to that. But I go back to what I was in 2016, and yeah, Deadpool was my favorite.
Yeah, this is going to be the beginning of my Marvel rampage now. I got my 1 year about it. Mine was actually close between two films, but I have gone with Captain America Civil War. Um,
Yeah.
when I did my big, I wasn't watching MCU at the time. I started watching them in 2022, like properly. Um, so a lot of these films later on I watched late. But when I got to Civil War, I was like, oh, you can't get better than this. We're about to find out later that we do. But what a film. Having the Avengers basically fighting each other was just absolutely insane. The introduction of Spider-Man, this introduction of Tom Holland, Black Panther's there. They're all there. Pretty much all of them are there. And it's really Iron Man versus Captain America, and it's such a good fight. It's such a good ending. It's just a fantastic, fantastic film. And even the story behind it, the reason why they're going to war, it's all great. And they used what happened in Age of Ultron is basically the reason for why they're arguing so much. And I just think it's fantastic and the best Captain America film. And that's tough because they're all pretty good. Other than even the most recent one's pretty good. But this one, by far and away, the best one.
A question then on that. So, because Spider-Man: Homecoming, which we may talk about
Comes
in
after, yeah.
2017, so you actually met Tom Holland as Spider-Man for the first time in Civil War.
Yes, he is introduced in Civil War, and
Okay.
then in Homecoming, where it starts at Homecoming, he's already been involved in that fight.
Oh, I see. Because obviously I've seen Homecoming, and I thought it was quite an interesting take that they didn't do the origin
Yeah, they decided
part.
not to
So,
because I think they've kind of understood that everyone knows the story now.
Yeah,
yeah,
from the
And
Spider-Man.
even in
but I
this,
didn't.
even
I
in Civil
did.
War, they don't do it. He's just, I think Tony
Oh,
Stark goes to meet him and brings him in that way. Um,
yeah. My sister's a massive MCU fan. She says if there's one movie that you're going to go back and revisit, it is Captain America: Civil War
yeah,
because
so
she
good.
regards it as one of the best Marvel movies that have ever been made.
I think it's better once you've watched them all though, because like you get to know all these characters and they're such a good
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
And
definitely.
then when they're fighting each
Yeah,
other, you're
sure.
like, oh, couldn't ask for much more than this. And obviously,
Yeah.
we then go into them being a team in future movies. Um, Stephen, what's your word? Honorable mentions have you got?
Yeah, so the one that was closest to pushed it was The Conjuring 2, which we've actually recently spoke about on the podcast
I
when we
still
went to
haven't
see
seen
it
that one.
in the summer. Definitely the best Conjuring
Mm.
movie by some way. We got Terrifier. Terrifier 1 came out in 2016. I had London Has Fallen, which was a sequel to Olympus Has Fallen. Now You See Me 2, a horror movie called Raw. I had Split, the James McAvoy film, which I really enjoyed. Zootopia, Finding Dory, and I also had The Purge Election Year, which actually I've seen that recently, and that is pushing to one of my like favorite movies of The Purge. It starts to go down that political route, but I think it does it in a really interesting way. It got a lot of hate when it came out because like Purge Anarchy was sort of, I think people regard that as the best of the Purge movies. But there's a lot of good stuff in Election Year. So I wanted to put it down there.
Andy, any to add to that?
No, Stephen. Yeah, obviously the main other two that I was debating were Civil War and Zootopia. I completely forgot about Deadpool, but that would have been up there as well. And yeah, all the other films were mentioned as well that I would have watched back then.
You're missing one, guys. Don't Breathe. I watched it on the podcast.
Oh
We
yeah, of
did,
course that
yeah.
will be on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good film.
I forgot that was 2016. I knew that there was going to be a movie in these batches that just
Oh,
didn't
there'll be
come
loads we missed, yeah.
up. But yeah, Don't Breathe. I thought weirdly Don't Breathe came later than that, like maybe
Pretty sure,
2017.
hold on,
But
mate.
no, I think it is 2016 now that you mention that.
The one that was closest for me though with Civil War was a film called Arrival. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I don't think I've seen that. No,
No, I don't think I've seen
sounds
that.
like an alien film.
It's a sci-fi film. It's got is it? I can't remember the lady's name. Jeremy Renner is number 2.
Oh, okay.
General plot, without spoiling things, is these spaceships come to Earth, but nothing happens. They're just there, just floating in Earth, and the humans have to find out why they're there, what they want, and they hire this lady who's a language expert. Phenomenal film. Highly recommend it. It's a slow burn because it's not much happens in terms of action.
Yeah,
But if you like sci-fi, if you like that kind of mystery story with aliens, it's
Yeah,
probably just hits my sweet point.
yeah.
It's just fantastic.
it is right up your alley.
I highly recommend
I
it.
swear I've seen a clip on that recently because we've like been doing movie reviews and I've been liking more movie stuff.
get a lot of
I'm
stuff
getting
coming
a
up.
lot more clips to do with like random movies and let people doing Letterboxd and stuff. So I'm starting to see like a variety of different choices and stuff, and I'm pretty sure that was one of them.
I'm pretty sure I've given this 4.5 on Letterboxd, which is why I went with Civil War because I gave that a 5. Which again, it would have been a 10.
That would have been a 10.
would.
If
A
yeah,
rare 10
would
we
have.
finally have a 10 out of 10 on the podcast from Welchy.
I had Split. I had Doctor Strange.
Oh, Split. Yeah,
Steven
I saw
said
Doctor
Split as well.
Strange, yep.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a
did you?
split.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you listed about 20 films. Super quick.
The only other ones that you two haven't mentioned is Passengers. Which
Oh
is
yeah, isn't that the Jennifer
Oh, wait.
Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence and
and
Chris Pratt. It's
Chris
another sci-fi
Pratt,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've
I have
seen that.
seen it. I have seen it.
Yeah.
He wakes her up, doesn't he? Is
Yeah.
that the one? Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that film.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's pretty a major spoiler, but the film's been out for
Yeah.
years, so
No,
I'm
it's a
pretty
great
sure it's
film.
not spoiled. It's probably in the
because
in the
it's got
blurb.
Simon Pegg in it as well as the bartender.
The Voice, yes, The Voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not Simon
No,
Pegg. Please tell me
I
that's not
swear it's
Simon
Simon
Pegg.
Pegg. I swear it's Simon Pegg as the bartender. Unless I'm thinking
thought
of
that.
something.
I don't think it is, mate.
Google it
No, it's
quickly.
not.
Who is it then? Because I've got his face in my head.
It's not.
Like,
I
in
was
that
going to
film.
say I would know Simon Pegg if I saw Simon Pegg. It is Michael Sheen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's Michael Sheen. Yeah.
Blimey.
I was going to
And
say it's
yeah.
definitely not Simon Pegg.
I
Yeah, been
I don't know
filming
why I've got his face in my head.
it.
Unless they look similar in that film. Unless I thought, oh, that looks like Simon Pegg.
So 2017, I'll start on this one. This was tough. I'm going to stick with Marvel, I think. This is the worst year for me in terms of I like these films and I think they're great films. But there's none here that I would say are like
Stand out
5 out of
favorite.
5s, 10 out of 10s. They're not like top
Yeah.
tier for me. I guess the closest one for that out of these is Logan. Obviously,
Okay.
Oh shit,
the
yeah.
ending of the Wolverine story. Not going to spoil anything, but it's the last Wolverine film we've had, other than Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess. It is just what we've always wanted from a Wolverine film: proper, visceral, bloody,
Yes.
gory.
Yeah.
But it's also got it's like the easy formula. You have a dad-ish figure, like an older man, who goes on a journey with a little girl, like essentially adopted. He's taken her on. It's basically Last of
Sounds like
Us
The Last of
in
Us.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
But those kind of stories just hit. They always do. It's like dad and
Yeah,
daughter,
they
but
do.
not properly daughter. Their relationship's
Yeah.
frayed at the start, but then they get to like each other at the end. It's perfect. But it's more the action in this film, the gore, everything about it is just phenomenal. The
Yeah.
beginning bit, Stephen Merchant's in this film.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic movie. There's not much more can be said about it other than it's got a great ending, a sad ending.
Yeah.
And Deadpool Wolverine somehow do that ending justice. I just think this film could have been ruined by Deadpool Wolverine, but for me it wasn't.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of seeing this on the big screen earlier last year because they did a show of it just prior to Deadpool. What was it? Prior to Deadpool Wolverine?
That would have been 2
I
years
can't-
ago.
It was either 2024 or 2025, but
Yeah.
I saw it on the big screen. And yeah, as you're watching it, you're literally sitting there thinking, this is exactly what I've always wanted to utilize the claws of Wolverine. And it kind of plays out more like a dystopian sci-fi thriller than at times a
Just a superhero movie,
rogue superhero movie. And it was kind of around the time where like we were getting Deadpool, then Logan. It was like Fox going, we've got some balls here. Like we're gonna start doing things that you don't ever expect us to do. And
It's
I really
interesting
sort of
though,
praise
'cause he
them
never
to do
like
that.
wears his Wolverine costume. He's just in normal clothes most of the
No.
time. It's more of like what a superhero would be like in our real
Yeah.
life if it was a real
Yeah.
life superhero, a bit like what other shows and stuff do.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool and Wolverine, he's wearing his full on bright yellow costume, so
Yeah.
it goes back to the classic. But
Kind of like we've gone in a full circle of
Yeah.
like the realism to now we're going completely nutty
back to
bananas.
comic books, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my choice. There was some other good ones we're going to in a minute. Andy, what was your choice for 2017?
So again, tough year. There was a few choices, but it's a movie series that I've spoken highly about before with some of the other films. I might have even chosen them as some of my favorites for the other years. But it was War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
So this is the third film in the series, I believe, and obviously the whole premise and like concept of these films I love anyway. Basically apes versus humans. I think War for the Planet of the Apes is the first one where you actually have the apes against apes as well. I can't remember exactly how they're working with the humans, but I remember there's a really cool scene at the end with the apes and sort of this like wall sort of breaking down and there being like a whole sort of flooding scene, and they're sort of having to navigate around that. But yeah, these whole films, the main character, Caesar, the main ape, throughout these films, I just love his character and the way that he grows from being basically a pet that belonged to what's his name? The Green Goblin.
Well, it's
James
not Green
Franco.
Goblin. James Franco, yeah.
Love Goblin.
Yeah.
Obviously it starts off as his pet and then obviously develops into a leader of the apes basically and takes them against the humans, and obviously it's the humans who basically cause this war by acting the way that they act, which I think a lot of these films show. It's always the humans that end up fucking up basically.
Yep.
But yeah, just watching this it's just cool action scenes as well with all of it, and it's really cool, and I recommend watching all the films in that series.
I need to watch them. I've watched the first one when in the cinema, loved
Yeah.
it, and then never watched the next two. I
just
don't know
get
why.
that.
I just need to get back.
I think
into
there's
them.
four. I think there's four in
There was
total.
one that came out
Well-
2 years ago, wasn't there? Like the fourth one.
Yeah, because that has got the girl from Logan in it, I think, hasn't it?
I don't know, maybe. I can't
remember her name
The
now.
girl that's in Deadpool Wolverine as well, X-23, and the character name.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Don't 100% quote me on that, but there was someone in it who I recognised.
Cool. I saw that on when I was doing it, but I hadn't seen it, so I couldn't put it down. Stephen, I want to hear your number one, but before we do, we're going to take a quick break. Welcome back to the Late Night Movie Podcast. We're going through the years 2015 to 2019 and picking our favourite movie from each year. We're in 2017 right now. I picked Logan, Andy picked War for Planet of the Apes. Stephen, what is your pick for 2017?
Okay, so this is the year where I was always been a massive horror fan, but I was really starting to go to the cinema more, and there's a lot of really strong horror movies. But my number one pick was going to be a horror movie, but I've made a last minute change because I remembered there was another movie that came out that I have to put in as my number one. It is a movie from director Edgar Wright, and it is a movie called Baby Driver.
Oh,
Which
I got that on my list.
is
That was my second choice.
I haven't
yeah,
seen it yet, but
which
I've heard amazing things.
Oh, so good.
it
Yeah.
it is an unbelievable piece of work. What I will say is before that I had the It horror movie,
I thought
2017
that's
It
where I
film.
thought you was going, or
Yeah.
Get Out.
So originally when I did my list, and Get Out was number 3, so you
Yeah.
got my like 2 out of 3 bang
Mhm.
on. But as we were talking, I was like, oh wait, shit, Baby Driver came out in this year, and I had to select it for many reasons. I mean, obviously at that time for me, I was studying music technology, which a lot of the work that we were doing was how you use music and sound in movies, television shows, and how everything has to be in time. So like when I watch anything now, if like the music is out of sync by like a second, I can't not think about that because I was taught on how to get things in time. And what I love is when a filmmaker utilizes that in such a fantastic way. We see snippets of Edgar Wright doing it in like Shaun the Dead when the Don't Stop Me Now beat, when they're
Yeah.
hitting the zombie synchronized to the beat. And what Baby Driver does is it takes that concept and every bit of music is carefully cut and choreographed to the movie. So everything is absolutely in sync and in beat. And it kind of gave me this feeling of, you know, I don't know if you've ever had it where you put headphones on and you're walking down a road and you've got like, you know, like the Saturday Night Fever where he's walking to Stay Alive. Baby
Yeah.
Driver gave me that feeling when I came out of like, I think I went to cinema to watch it, where I wanted to put headphones on and walk down and pretend that I was like in this movie. It's a really clever heist concept. It's got great action set pieces. It's got tremendous performances by Exo Elgore and Lily James as well. So it plays into like kind of the love story, and it is just on its own, the story wise makes it a perfect movie. But I just think it's so clever because how difficult it must be to get everything in time. When you're on set, they had to like do the 1-2s and have beats in their ears. So to having to do that as well as act, it's such an impressive work. And I find it's lovely to watch a movie where you can see a filmmaker who just loves the movie that they're making, and you can clearly see that when you watch Baby Driver. So would absolutely 100% recommend it to you, Welchy. It is an unbelievable piece of work.
I know I need to watch it. It's one of those that I know I have to watch it, and I want to watch it. It's just getting around to doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe someone
It's
should
got
pick
Kevin
it for
Spacey in
letter
it as
B.
well.
Oh, that's
And Jamie
controversial.
Foxx.
I
Cast
love
is
Jamie Foxx.
incredible.
Stick with you, Stephen, for some honorable mentions. I'm guessing Get Out in it.
Yeah, so I had it, and then Get Out, Jigsaw, The Babysitter, Happy Death Day, 47 Meters Down, Annabelle Creation, The Hitman's Bodyguard, which was the Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson movie. I don't know if you saw that.
Don't think so.
I've seen it, not for a long time though.
Okay. I also had Despicable Me 3, Spider-Man Homecoming, and finally Unfriended, which I would give a special shout out if you haven't seen Unfriended, which is a horror movie that plays out on a Skype video call, and the whole movie plays out on a computer screen. It's unbelievable. It's really clever, and it's one of those movies that kind of really stays with you. I was really blown away by that, but so I thought I would throw that one out there in case either of you haven't seen that one.
No, I haven't. And I will go and see it at some point. Andy?
I had Baby Driver down as my number 2. I think the only film that Stephen didn't mention that I've got down is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I don't know if did you say that? But
No, he didn't.
No.
Yeah. So that's the only other honorable mention I had down.
Same as me. I haven't got all the ones you had, but I had like Get Out, Guardians, Spider-Man, It, Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Coco,
Oh nice.
the Pixar movie.
I haven't seen that one as many times as the others.
It's a great one. It is a very good one. Okay, 2018. Let's go back to Andy.
Okay.
What was your movie for 2018?
This one's tricky because
This was my strongest year.
really,
So many films I could pick as my number one. Like literally, I'm looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, easily, if not 5.
I'm feeling like I've missed some, but I'm gonna choose. The thing is, like, there's one that I remember more about, but I know it's not my favorite one out of the two. And the first one, I'm gonna go for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So that's one
Ooh,
I
what a
like the
fucking
most.
movie.
I obviously haven't
Um,
watched it since it released, so I remember the second one more, and obviously the ending of the second one, waiting for the third one to come out. But obviously the first one set this all into motion. It's the film that sort of it's taken me back into enjoying like animation films and stuff.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
Because since I've watched that, it was the first film. I think it was the first film I went to watch in the cinema by myself, or that might have been the second one actually. Um, but yeah, I went to watch it, and it is the first film that's taken me back into enjoying animation films. And since watching that, I've now watched like a ton of stuff like Invincible. I wouldn't have watched the other sort of Spider-Man TV show that we've had, and it just obviously just with the whole Spider-Man world, it just adds more to that, and like the music, all the characters that they have in these films, like it's just so crazy. And when you're watching this, it's just like so much fun. Like some of the artists that they have involved, like Post Malone and other artists, it just all rolls into one really nicely.
Yeah.
And the fact I can't remember the runtime of this, but I know that they're quite long films, aren't they? And I remember watching this feeling like it didn't feel that long
I
at all
think
when
it
I
was
was watching it.
I think it was just shy of 2 hours, the first one, if I remember right. I think it was like 118 minutes, around about that running time.
Yeah,
I think the
but
second one's the longer one.
Hour and
it
57,
just
yeah.
added more.
Hey, bang
just-
on.
It just added more to the Spider-Verse for me and
Yeah.
those characters, and sort of helped to grow my love for
Yeah.
Spider-Man. And then obviously with the second one as well, the way that ends, it has like hyped him up for the third one, which I thought was gonna already have by now. But yeah, I'm excited for when that comes out, so I can watch all three hopefully together.
Do you remember who
Refresh
plays
my memory on it.
Spider-Man's mum in those films?
Was this a question that we had on the podcast?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh,
It's La Guerta from Dexter.
Oh really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Nicolas
You
Cage
said
is
it
in
before,
this
I
film,
forgot.
obviously.
Yeah. There's a lot of big names in these films as well.
So many in this
Yeah.
one, like so many.
I couldn't echo like what you said. Like that was just a perfect summarization of how amazing that film was. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is absolutely nuts, and that Post Malone song when that comes on in the car just
Isn't
brings
Yeah.
me
isn't
back
that
first time
currently
that I
and
saw
still
that.
the most streamed song ever on Spotify? I'm pretty sure
It
it's,
wouldn't
I don't think it's
surprise
the
me if
if it's
it
not
is.
number one, it's very close.
I don't think it's the most streamed song ever because I feel like there's another song that's done that, but I think it's in like the top 5 or even top 3.
Oh,
could be
no,
number
yeah.
one.
Blinding Lights by The Weeknd took over.
Yeah, but I think it's second or third in that
Mm.
list, which is nuts.
Oh no, it's 7th now. Jesus Christ.
Oh wow,
Maybe they'll check
Probably
into the third film and go back up to number one.
yeah,
Yeah,
Run-
true.
probably Kate Bush has taken that over with Stranger
Yeah,
Things.
She
in
hasn't
that
yet.
time.
No, but that's a good point. Is it your number one, Stephen?
It's not. It was very, very, very close. I think I had it third. I mean, my top 4 is absolutely insane. I have gone with a movie that we have mentioned earlier in our discussion. I have selected Bohemian Rhapsody
Yeah,
as my number 1 movie
that's
for
one of my
2018.
5, and so is Spider-Man.
Because I remember watching it when I turned 19, actually. I watched it firstly for my 19th birthday, and then I went on a date with this girl, and we went to cinema, and I just picked Bohemian Rhapsody again. I wasn't too fussed about the date. I just wanted to see the movie again. And she was like, "Oh, what should we watch at the cinema?" I was like, "Have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody?" She was like, "No." I was like, "All right." I always treat each of those movie tickets. This was also along with A Star Is Born, which was the Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga epic. I couldn't quite work out which one I wanted to pick. And I know I come in from the Resident Horror X, but I've not had a single horror movie so
Yeah,
far
but
as
it's
my
good.
number one.
Yeah.
But with Bohemian Rhapsody, again, it's one of those movies that I just remember watching it and thinking it is just absolutely perfect. I know there was controversy surrounding it that it played with some of the notions of Queen. It took a couple of liberties here and there, but if you just judge it on a Queen movie following the life of Freddie Mercury, the rise of Queen, and how they recreated the Live Aid section at the end when Radio Gaga comes on, it just like shivers down my spine the first time that I saw that. Sort of similar when Lady Gaga does Shallow in the club. There's those moments in musicals where I just like all of my senses are just ringing. And I just think it's one of those movies that kind of doesn't have any faults to it apart from that controversy, which I don't really care about. I don't really care if a bioepic wants to take liberties. you're there as a movie to give me a bit more knowledge and a bit more sort of understanding, but you're also there to entertain. And I don't think I've met anyone that has said they found that movie boring or they didn't enjoy it. There have been some biopics over the years that have not been great. So I sort of go into other ones thinking Bohemian Rhapsody is sort of the peak that I wanted to hit. All I would say with A Star Is Born is what I love about that and why I was so close to picking that. It's just because of the darkness behind that story of, you know, how one person goes up, one person goes down, they intersect in the middle. But the issues that like Jackson goes through, it's a real stomach churning sort of movie to go through, and it really hit me hard. I actually went on another day watching that movie. So I was obviously 2018, I was just going on dates and picking all of these little musical movies. But like as I said with Bradley Cooper and him directing, like if you haven't seen A Star Is Born, that's a really, really strong piece of work. But Bohemian Rhapsody just eclipsed it for me.
Yeah, you've both mentioned two films that were in my 5. I have to go with Avengers Infinity War. I feel like I would be doing it a disservice if I didn't pick it. But when I say they're close, like these 5 films are all so close to it. I rate them all so highly. Yeah. But Infinity War is, and follow the next film as well, is the peak Marvel. It's what the whole of the first, it's not the first phase, first 4 phases, but what I'm going to call the first proper chunk of phases was building up to. We had the 3 Captain America films, the 3 Iron Man films, Black Panthers, Guardians of the Galaxy. We're all building up to this moment, and they fucking nailed it. Thanos is just one of the best villains of all time, and the CGI on him was incredible. He was so immense and so, I wouldn't say not scary in terms of like a horror scary, but scary in terms of how can you defeat him? Yeah, there is, and especially once he got the 5, it's like, what can you do? Then it has the famous snap scene. Everything about it is just incredible. I think having a film with this many amazing and famous actors, but they all play a role. They all have a good role. Like you've got Chris Pratt, Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, Benedict Cumberbatch, obviously Thanos himself. It's insane that they pulled this off. And as a 2-parter, what a way to start it. And I wish I was watching these at the time at the cinema, because that's my only thing I will say is that I watched these at home on my own. Actually, my brother watched it with me because he was someone who watched all the MCUs in the cinema. And when I said my next film's that one, he said, right, I'm coming around, like we're watching it together, because he wanted to be there. I can't speak highly enough about it. It's so good that I couldn't pick anything else, but I wish I could, because I wish I could give love to all these films.
Did they film them back to back, sort of?
I believe they
Infinity
did.
War and then Endgame.
Right, they might have done some reshoots. I'm pretty sure they did. I wasn't the MCU guy back then, but I guess they would, because they literally come out a year apart.
I didn't realize that they came out a year apart. I also had in my head like it was going to be like 2017 and then 2019. I remember Endgame in 2019 because like I did have FOMO because everyone was going on about it, and I was like, I had nothing to say because I wasn't watching the MCU at that point. But I didn't realize that they were that close together, and that is mental.
They had 2 films in between them. They had Marvel released Ant-Man 2 or and the Wasp and Captain Marvel in between these. That's how insane they were at the time.
Christ.
I mean, those films have different qualities, but you're never gonna.
That's still peak Marvel, and you had Deadpool 2 as well.
Well, that's not actually MCU, but it's Sony.
But like, it's still Marvel going.
Characters,
so they they were going off on that point.
Honorable mentions. We will say, what did I say? Oh, Black Panther.
Yep.
A Quiet Place, Deadpool 2,
I haven't mentioned.
You haven't seen A Quiet Place? Wow. You've got to watch
that.
Quiet Place is a great movie.
Yeah.
But my 5 would have been obviously Infinity War, Mission Impossible Fallout, which is the best Mission Impossible, Bohemian Rhapsody, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Creed 2. And Creed 2, I don't think is as appreciated as it should be.
Yeah.
That is the only film I can think of in recent memory that took me to tears. I don't know if it's partly being a father now that it's done that.
Is there 3 Creed films or 2?
There's 3 now.
There's 3.
But the music in this one as well, everything about this film was fantastic. And I love it, love it, love it, love it. So Andy, what are your honorable mentions for 2018?
Obviously, I had down the Marvel films that you mentioned, but the other main one that I was debating choosing was Ready Player One. I remember the time that came out. I really enjoyed the
Yeah.
concept of it, and I thought, why hasn't there been a film like this before? And I'm annoyed that they haven't made a second film from this. So yeah, that was my other honorable mention
Ready Player
for
2.
2018. Yeah, literally. I
It's
want
there
another
ready
one.
for the
It was so
taking.
like there's so many references in that
Yeah.
film. It was so cool with the Easter eggs.
And Stephen?
Yeah, I mean the other ones that we haven't mentioned, I had Incredibles 2, as
Oh,
I
fuck.
mentioned, loved
Yeah, I love
Incredibles
that one.
2.
Yeah,
That was 2018.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, that came out 2018.
I feel like that was
Um,
years ago. What the
That
fuck?
was it. It's 8 years nearly.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
I guess, but like even longer.
I also had The Strangers Pray at Night, which was the sequel to the original Strangers in 2008. That gets props to me because every death was set to an 80s music. So you imagine me, I love the 80s music and I love horror. You mash them together and I'm in love. So just yeah, there was some really cool moments. There's a sequence in that where a person goes underwater in a fight with one of the strangers and the music muffles as they go under, and I was like, that's fucking cool. Definitely recommend that one just as a cheap, fun horror movie if you haven't seen it. I had Truthful Dare, the horror movie. I also had the comedy movie Game Night, the
Oh, Game
action
Night.
fantasy movie. Yeah, that was 2018.
Man, what a year.
Overlord, which I don't know if anyone has seen that.
Overlord.
Yeah,
No.
Overlord. It's like a fantasy movie. The First Purge I also had as well. I feel like I'm missing a couple of ones, but that was the main ones I wrote down.
Okay, well, let's roll it into the last year. Stephen, what is your favorite film from 2019?
Okay, so again, there is a horror movie here that would have made my number one. I feel like this has been the batch of years where there's been sort of these horror movies that will also make it, because there is one film here that again was directed by Quentin Tarantino that came out in 2019, and there was no other movie that was getting anywhere near. And it is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I love, love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is basically Quentin Tarantino's love letter to the movie industry, set in the 1960s. It's got Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio in it. And there's a lot of stuff in this movie that kind of not much is going on, but yet so much is going on at the same time. Because it's basically set in an alternative reality where you've got Sharon Tate, who in 1969 is obviously murdered by Charles Manson, the Manson family. So the Manson family are there. So as an audience, you're kind of shitting it, thinking this is building to the night where Sharon Tate gets murdered. And obviously it's Quentin Tarantino who does really violent set plays. And there's a sequence where they play a song called Out of Time, and they're building to that night. And I remember having knots in my stomach because it's not a pleasant experience. You know, Sharon Tate's 9 months pregnant and she gets brutally stabbed to death. And I've seen other horror movies do that. And sometimes I'm a bit like, you know, you're kind of sort of showcasing it in a light that it shouldn't. But the turn that night takes in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, my jaw was on the floor in that sequence. But also I laughed so much, and it's an incredibly funny movie. And it is just perfect. It's just Tarantino showing what he can do. It kind of feels like it's his last ever film. It's his 9 of 10 movies that he's making. But obviously we don't know what the next one is. And we've obviously got the Cliff Booth movie, which I only found out about when we spoke about our Rotten Tomatoes game. So I can't wait to see what that does. But yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Would recommend it. It is one of those movies that is a slow burner. I would throw that out there, that it's one that you need to stick with. But if you kind of get over that, I think you'll really enjoy it. But I do understand people saying that it's a really boring movie and nothing goes on. But for me, I love it.
Andy, what is your favorite film 2019?
So I feel like we're going to have the same film here, Welchy, because I've purposely tried to avoid Marvel as much as possible throughout the years, just because I knew you'd be praising them anyway. But I can't do that for 2019 because it is the best Marvel film of all time to date. And it's obviously Avengers Endgame. I won't go into it too much because I don't want to spoil it, even though it was 6 years ago. I'm hoping.
I watched it.
Yeah, and I do. Obviously, I went to the cinema to watch this, and I'm hoping they re-release it when the next Avengers films start coming out. So I'm hoping I'll get to watch it again on the big screen.
That's a good point.
But yeah,
I might
this
try and do that if they do that, because I never got to see it in this big screen.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, I'd recommend anyone doing that. It's one of the best films to watch in the cinema with all the action pieces, like you say, with Infinity War, all the characters coming together, the big fights. It is just incredible, and obviously, the ending to this film is great. Obviously, there's happiness, there's sadness. It's got all the emotions in there, and it was peak. It was Marvel at its peak, and they haven't been able to sort of live up to that since. Like, because Endgame was so good, everything that's come after, they've struggled. Marvel have struggled with their films until recently with Fantastic Four. I think obviously they've started to get a bit more of their sort of mojo back. But um, yeah, I'm hoping they re-release this film this year so I can go watch it again on the big screen, because it is the perfect film for the big screen. And Iron Man, Captain America, all the characters are back. Like, it's great. And obviously there's characters that die as well. So yeah, it's all in there.
Yeah, it's my number one. I don't think there's any
Yeah.
doubt. There's two
Thought it would
moments
be for
in
both
that
of you.
two moments in that final act. Obviously, on your left, and then
Yes.
the hammer. Those
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah.
moments, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
wish
yeah.
I was in a
It's
cinema
big
for those
moments.
moments. Even just watching it at home was insane. There's not much more to say. It's just epic. It follows on from Infinity War. When it started and the first kind of half an hour, and I won't spoil what happens in that half an hour, I was like, oh, you're doing it.
Yeah,
We're doing this now. Like, what the fuck? And then
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
you go through the rest of the film and you understand what's happening. Phenomenal film. I Love You 3000, all of those things. Ah, it's just absolutely incredible. I think it's the best. People differ between Infinity War and Endgame.
No way.
I'm
Yeah.
an Endgame
I
one. It's
feel
got too
I'm
many
in go.
moments for me. Like,
Yeah,
maybe as
and
an
it's the
overall
last one as
story,
well. Like,
Infinity War's slightly better. Maybe I don't know, but there's too many moments that I would
Yeah.
pick out from Endgame rather than Infinity War.
yeah, yeah.
Even though Infinity War has great moments as well, I just think Endgame just slightly pips it in that regard. But I'm talking about 10 out of 10s here. If I was doing a podcast back then, I would have had plenty of 10 out of 10s.
You got 10 out of 10s coming out your ears in this one,
I
where
have
people
now,
were doing
yeah.
it back in the day.
But that just shows like
That's
the
the level
down,
Marvel was at.
like the drop in Marvel
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Because like we've watched Marvel films recently. We had Captain America, Brave New World, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts. You haven't given any of those 10 out of 10. So
You have,
hopefully with what it's leading up to, like because we had such a big build up to the Avenger films before, like, and they've tried to do that again, not on the same level,
nowhere near the same level, yeah.
but
So-
there's part of that there. So I'm hoping that will help with the new
Actually-
Avenger films coming out.
I actually think the recent trailers they've been doing have been doing a better job of building up to this film than the films have been doing. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, true.
the trailers have built up
They're doing a
so
lot of
much
teasers,
hype.
aren't they?
It's all the
Yeah.
leaks, which have definitely
Yeah.
been purposely leaked.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything that's happened recently has taken this film from, obviously everyone's excited for Doomsday, to another level. I'm hopeful that they can actually match it, because if the story's going where we think it might be going with the kids and stuff, this could be insane. And if it is another two-parter with Secret Wars next year, it could be another Infinity War moment, which I'm really hopeful for.
As someone who's got it on their Rotten Tomatoes list, I am definitely hoping for that. But also, like, what I would say is that Fantastic Four First Steps was
It's
sort of a
phenomenal film,
perfect like example of like, oh shit, all right, I'm starting to see that what people get from Marvel. Obviously, somebody that like I wasn't around at that time to get involved with them, but I am looking forward. I'm probably going to hold off and hopefully be able to see it on the big screen and then see sort of Infinity War beforehand to get the main Avengers sort of feeling. I won't get the same sort of connection as
No.
what
You need to
just
start
got.
from just start from the beginning. Just start watching them now.
There's too many though.
You'll catch up.
There's too many.
Too many. I can't.
There's
Andy, I was
go in Google the main films to watch for Infinity War and Endgame,
I
and
will
then just
spoil
watch
it
those
for
ones.
people now, like, as in not the films, but obviously we're doing our A to Z series, and I was thinking what we could do after that. And one of my options was
Yeah, yeah.
Marvel, and I started working out how many we'd have to watch. Well, basically, even if we
it's a
did
lot.
one every week, we wouldn't catch up.
It'd be like 2
It's
years.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So I decided to go against that. But yeah, you're probably right, Andy. If you can pick certain ones like Civil War, you'd have to watch. All
Yeah,
the Avengers,
couple.
obviously, number one, and
Yeah.
Age of Ultron. But anyway, we digress. The honorable mentions, I had Spider-Man: Far From Home, which obviously come out
Yeah,
after
I had
Endgame,
Spider-Man.
which
Yeah,
is
I had.
probably regarded as the worst of the three, but I'd say that's quite unfair. I think it's still very good. Uncut Gems. Recently watched Uncut
2019. Steven
Gems.
hated that film.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that pop up. I was like, that's going to be talked about in this year for
I
sure.
love that film. Knives Out, phenomenal film.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
But my
But I
closest
know
one
that
to
highly.
Endgame was Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I
don't.
can't believe they
me.
came out in the same year. Like,
Oh.
I Endgame and Joker in 2019.
I
Like, that's
will
mental. 'Cause I
never
went to the cinema
forget
to watch that
the
as well.
final scene in that film. What a final moment, like in
No,
the chat room, the chat bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. With Robert De
Yeah,
Niro's
yeah.
oh
character
my
is
god.
nuts.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe when I was watching Joker, thinking, "This is from the director of The Hangover. How have we got here? Like, how have we actually got here? It is insane.
And then how do we fuck
Jump
it up with
from
the second
comedy
one?
to I don't
I
know.
you mean with the second one? I think you liked it, didn't you, Stephen? But
Yeah, I did. I
I
didn't. It obviously wasn't anywhere near what Joker did, but I wasn't as hateful as what other
it was
people would
terrible.
said. And as I went into it, I kind of expected that. For me, the only other one that got really close to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a horror movie called Us. It's from Jordan Peele, which I don't know if you've seen. It's
I
like
haven't, but I heard it's
about the
good.
Have
doppelgangers.
I?
Yeah,
Oh no, I
it's
haven't seen
kind
that
of
one yet.
Get Out is like at the very top, but Us is just below. I also had like Zombieland Double Tap, which isn't as good as the first Zombieland, but still a lot of fun. I had like Rocket Man, It Chapter 2, Glass, which is the sequel to Split,
Yeah.
Toy Story 4, and then Rambo Last Blood, which I quite enjoyed.
Toy Story 4. Forgot about that
Toy Story 4 was 2019.
one.
The only other film that I had that you guys didn't have was Alita: Battle Angel, but
I've heard that's good as well.
wasn't close to.
Isn't that from
Yeah,
the team that Avatar team worked on that? Is that?
I have no idea, but it's to do with like AI and robots and stuff. And I saw an article earlier today. I don't know if it's just rumors, but potentially working on a second film, which I would love. So
I saw something laugh joking about that, saying they should have just hired Ella Purnell because her eyes were like that anyway.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So interestingly, you say Joker 2 wasn't that bad, Stephen. It got 31 critics and 31 audience.
Oh,
And
people
I
hate
am
the
in-
musical side of
although
it.
the first one only got 68 critics.
What about audience?
Higher audience score,
89.
though, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's not.
I-
I thought I'd be higher than that.
yeah.
I am in the minority, obviously, of that for sure, with both critic and audience perspective. But generally, I didn't come out of that and thinking that was a pile of shit compared to the first one. Yeah.
It's-
But
If we get
I-
to 2024,
I am-
Stephen, and do it and you bring it up, you're going to get challenged by me and Andy.
I'm gonna get
Yeah,
challenged for sure. I'm already fully aware of that.
Why
I think I
change
gave
the
it.
concept that works? Like that's what annoys me. And why turn it into a
Yeah.
musical? Like Joker's not a musical. Like I don't mind musical films and shows, but that is not a musical film.
Yes, I
That
quite
courtroom
like that.
scene could have been so much better without the music stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There are films for 2015 to 2019. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight on the Late Night Movie Podcast. Let us know what you would have picked in 2015, 2019 and what you think of our choices. Before we do that, I always fucking do this. I'm going to go through some listener comments because I always forget. Apologies. It's because we're rushing because we've got little time tonight. Okay, so Jack commented in Parasite, which I haven't seen, but
Oh, yeah.
I've obviously heard it's
I haven't
incredible.
seen it yet, but
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard great things about it.
Green Book, again, haven't seen, but heard it's incredible. I didn't want to read this next one, but I will read it. And I can't believe you didn't pick it, Stephen.
is it SpongeBob
Hey.
or something?
Dunkirk.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I forgot about it. It would have been in my
Dunkirk
mention. I wouldn't have picked it as the number one,
is-
but it would have been in there.
One of the worst films I've watched, particularly Christopher Nolan. I think it's shocking. He
We're not having
also
this debate again, what we had on the stream the other night.
he also picked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
And then he said all the Marvel films in that era. And he mentioned a few times and he said, I need to chuck in Ford versus Ferrari and The Big Short, which Andy said, and Hateful Eight,
Yes.
which obviously Stephen mentioned. Bigsy wrote in, he personally messaged me, and he has sent me a review now, Andy, for Whiplash, which we'll go into in a minute. He sent me a lot, so bear with and hold on. So instead of doing one per each like Jack did, he just kind of went in. 2015, Knock Knock, That's not the beginning of a joke.
Oh,
Avengers.
the Eli Roth film. Yeah, I would have picked the honorable mentions. That's a great film.
Avengers Age of Ultron, Jurassic World, which actually that's a good shout. I like the first one.
Yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road, which I've not seen, and The Martian. 2016, Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah, I've not seen that, but I've heard amazing things about Hacksaw Ridge.
That's really good. That's got Andrew Garfield in.
Yeah.
Yeah, great film.
Deadpool, Split, Captain America: Civil War, and The Sausage Party. Fair enough. Yeah, that's
I forgot about
film
Sausage Party.
too,
Yeah,
that's quite good.
That's hilarious.
I
Film.
always love the beginning of it when they start cutting them up and they're terrifying.
Yeah,
it's just
they're like in the kitchen.
it's always great.
Skin.
2017, It, Blade Runner 2049, Get Out, John Wick 2, and War for Planet of the Apes. Andy said.
John Wick. I knew there's ones we're going to miss or forget about.
Big Z did a lot of research. We probably didn't do as much as we should have. 2018, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which we've mentioned. Avengers Infinity War, which we mentioned. A Quiet Place, Black Panther, and Creed 2. Thank you. Underrated film. And then 2019, Knives Out, Uncut Gems, Ready or Not. Is that the one you didn't like, Andy, with the heads exploded at the end?
Yeah, well, to be fair, it's literally just the ending that I hate with that film. Me and Stephen been talking about it recently because the new one's coming out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
We both share the same. I really enjoyed that film up to the exploding head bits. I was like, what the fuck is actually that all about? But I'm looking forward to the sequel.
He also said Escape Room, which, if that's the one I'm thinking of, that's decent. And Fighting with My Family, which I don't know what that one is. Well, there you go. Thank you, Big Z and Jack, for writing in. You can also join our Discord using the link in the description to get your thoughts in before the episodes if you want to, like Big Z and Jack did. Otherwise, just drop your comments in the socials or on YouTube now or Spotify, wherever you're watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you are listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next episode. Speaking of which, next time we continue our A to Z movie series with the movie Whiplash. You will not want to miss it. I think it's going to be a good one. Until then, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I have been your host, Welchy, and joined by my co-host, as always, Andy.
Yeah, thank you as always, guys. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully you enjoyed our films from 2015 to 2019.
I had too many Marvel ones. And Stephen.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure as always. And can't believe that we're going to be next in this talking about 2020 to 2024. Or 5, whatever it may be.
Scary.
So, yeah, almost there. But yeah, it's been a pleasure as always.
Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.